So we have seen a numerical on E/M ratio. We have seen a question in which they asked us to arrange the following particles in increasing order of their E/M ratio. E/M ratio is nothing but charge of that particular particle divided by mass of the particle, and the given particles are alpha particle, proton, neutron, and the electron. Alpha particle, it is nothing but doubly ionized helium atom, or it is nothing but the helium nucleus. Inside the nucleus of helium, you have 2 protons and 2 neutrons. If you are not having any electrons, the charge of it will be equal to charge of 2 protons, and the mass of it will be equal to mass of 2 protons plus mass of 2 neutrons. As the mass number is 4, now you have 2 protons and 4 minus 2, which is equals to 2 neutrons. So the total mass is nothing but 2 times mass of protons plus 2 times mass of the neutrons. We know that mass of proton is almost equal to mass of neutron, hence I'm considering this as 4 times mass of proton. ये जो particular question solve करने के लिए, you can take all the values of the charge and mass and you can divide it and you can get some values and you can compare it. But ये वैसा method में क्या होगा? It is very time consuming. In order to substitute all the values and if you want to calculate all the values, or thoda time consuming है. Rather than that, you can get each and everything in terms of each and every E/M ratio in terms of other. Like I'm fixing this particular E/M ratio of electron. I'm trying to get each and everything in terms of E/M ratio of electron. E/M ratio of proton is charge of proton divided by mass of proton. Charge of proton is equal to the charge of electron, and the mass of proton is 1836 times mass of electron. So I can write this as 1 by 1836 times E/M ratio of electron. Similarly, E/M ratio of alpha particle is charge of alpha particle divided by mass of alpha particle. The charge of alpha particle is 2 times charge of proton divided by 4 times mass of proton, which is nothing but 2 upon 4 half into, and mass of proton is 1836 times mass of electron. So if I am writing this in terms of E/M ratio of mass of electron, E/M ratio of electron, it is 1 by 2 into 1836 times E/M ratio of electron. So if you are comparing all these values, सबसे least it is E/M ratio of neutron because it is having no charge. उसके बाद you are having alpha particle, then you have proton, and then you have electron. ये जो particular question है, this is one of the most important questions. बहुत बार repeat हुआ है. If they are asking some other new particle, then also the method will remain same. Get the E/M ratio of that particular particle in terms of the other, and you can compare it. Okay? ठीक है. Discovery of electron कुछ लोग ने पूछा है. ये जो discovery of electron है, this happened very late in the year of 1932. In the year of 1932, discovery of neutron has happened. इसके लिए apparatus नहीं देखा हमने. We have just seen a reaction. The reaction is a nuclear transformation reaction. Chadwick has taken helium nucleus and he bombarded the helium nucleus with the beryllium nucleus. When he had a collision between helium and beryllium, in the process there is transformation of those nuclei into a new nuclei, which is carbon. This is not a chemical reaction because in a chemical reaction the nature of the atoms will remain same. Chemical reaction में क्या होगा? Left hand side में जो भी atoms रहेंगे, right hand side में भी वही atoms रहेंगे. In this case, on the left hand side you have helium and beryllium, but on the right hand side you have carbon. So the nucleus got transformed. This is not a usual chemical reaction. In the usual chemical reaction, on the left hand side you have hydrogen, chlorine, sodium, oxygen. On the right hand side also you are having the same atoms or same elements: sodium, chlorine, oxygen, hydrogen. So in this particular nuclear transformation reaction, one of the neutron has ejected out from the nucleus or got emitted from the nucleus. That we can see with the help of mass conservation or particle conservation. On the left hand side you have total protons as 2 and 4, 2 plus 4, 6. On the right hand side also you are having 6 protons. On the left hand side the mass number 4 minus 2 it is 2, and 9 minus 4 it is 5. Sorry. Okay, number of neutrons will be 2 plus 5, 7, but on the right hand side you have only 6 neutrons. So in the reaction one of the neutron got emitted out. ये जो particular neutron है, when he passed it through an electric field or a magnetic field, उसका deviation नहीं हुआ because it is chargeless. Okay, and whenever he is incidenting these particular neutrons on ZNS screen, there won't be any sparks. And based on some other principles, conservation of momentum and all those things, he found the mass of neutron exactly equal to the mass of proton. As of now, उसने exactly क्या क्या किया है to conclude the proton equals to mass of neutron. तो हमारे knowledge bank से बाहर है, so we are not discussing it. But based on some other lot of other things, he concludes the mass of proton equals to the mass of neutron. There is a lot of disturbance in the background. Yeah. Okay. So इस particular discovery of neutron में तुम लोग को इतना ही याद रखना है. When helium collided with beryllium, it got transformed into carbon. During the process, one of the neutron got emitted out from the nucleus, which neither deviated towards the positive terminal of the battery or the negative terminal or the north pole or the south pole. इसका मतलब वो जो पार्टिकल एमिट हुआ है
सर वो
या
वो RXN क्या है?
reaction RXN is a reaction, nuclear transformation reaction. Okay, that's short form for reaction.
Okay sir.
सर
या
वो न्यूट्रॉन बाहर क्यों आया?
बाहर क्यों आया मतलब इतना जोर से कोलाइड हुआ है. द वन ऑफ द न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शंस में ऐसा ही होता है. Because of high energy involved during the collision process, the neutron got emitted out. और जो उनके बीच में जो connection होगा, all the neutrons and protons are attached by some glue-like material called quarks. Okay, उनके बीच में जो connection हुआ, because of loss of that particular connection, one of the neutron got emitted out.
Okay sir.
This is a nuclear reaction where the nuclei is involved.
Okay sir.
Okay, ठीक है. Let us go into atomic models. ये जो atomic models है, they tell us about the position of electrons, protons, and neutrons inside an atom. Okay, the first and foremost atomic model was given by J.J. Thomson, the person who discovered the electron, and his model is termed as, anyone इसके बारे में सुना होगा?
Plum pudding model,
Watermelon model or
Plum pudding.
raisin pudding model,
plum pudding model, or okay, raisin pudding, or also called as choco chip. ये सब मॉडर्न नेम्स है. एक्चुअल में उसने प्लम पुडिंग मॉडल और वाटरमेलन मॉडल करके कहा है. हाँ, ये मॉडल क्या है? एनीवन, एनी आइडिया? एनीवन वांट्स टू आंसर?
sir.
ओके, मैं ये
It
बताता
has
हूँ.
a positive shell.
ओके, मैं ये बताता
Positive
हूँ.
shell
In
में
positive
वो
shell, he kept
negative.
negative particles, small particles.
Okay. In a
And the
watermelon, the red part is uniformly distributed and the seeds are embedded inside that particular red pulp. Okay. Just like the red pulp, in an atom, the positive charge is uniformly distributed and the negative charge species are embedded inside the positive charge, just like the seeds of the watermelon. according to J.J. Thomson, the positive charge is uniformly distributed or distributed just like the pulp of the watermelon, and just like seeds, the electrons are embedded inside these particular positive charges. Okay, so we compare the positive charge to pulp of watermelon, and the negative charge to seeds. So basically, he established the electrical neutrality of an atom. He said that the total amount of positive charge is equal to the total amount of negative charge, hence the atom is neutral. So he established electrical neutrality of atom. Okay, but ये जो particular model है, it got failed. There is a scientist named Rutherford, and Rutherford, yeah, he was a PhD student, or he was a student with J. Thomson. Okay, Rutherford ने कुछ experiment किया है, and based on that particular experiment, based on the results of that particular experiment, he challenged the J. Thomson's model. Okay, and that eventually led to the discovery of nucleus. वो कैसे हुआ है देखेंगे, but ये जो particular model है, watermelon model or plum pudding model, it was challenged by his own student Rutherford. Let us see the experiment performed by Rutherford, उसके बाद समझते हैं क्यों फेल हुआ है J. Thomson's model. Okay, आप लोग ऑलरेडी पढ़ा होगा अपने 10th क्लास में या 9th क्लास में about alpha ray scattering experiment or gold
Yes,
foil
yes.
experiment. पहले apparatus के बारे में देखते हैं. Okay. This is a radioactive material. Which is a source of alpha particles. Once again, what is meant by an alpha particle? It is nothing but
Doubly
helium
charged
nucleus.
helium.
Helium nucleus is nothing but He2 positive, whose charge is 2 times charge of proton, and mass is 4 times mass of proton. Okay, because helium atomic number is 2, mass number is 4. Okay, and he has placed a gold foil thin gold foil. अभी एक क्वेश्चन आता है इस पर्टिकुलर एक्सपेरिमेंट में. They ask why only gold foil, why not any other thing. ये जो gold foil है, it has the highest malleable property. Malleable property का मतलब क्या है? If you are trying to make this particular gold foil into thin sheets, ये जो particular gold foil है, it has highest malleable property. As a result, the thickness of this particular gold foil is about 1000 gold atoms. Okay, बहुत thin बना सकते हैं because of its highest malleable property as chosen gold foil. Okay, ठीक है. If you are having any doubt why he has chosen gold foil, you can ask me. he has chosen gold foil because that particular gold foil can be made into very very thin sheet, and in this particular case he has made the gold foil of thickness 1000 atoms. Okay, ठीक है. And this particular screen, it is again ZNS screen. And what is the purpose of it? To detect charge. Okay, or in this particular case it is used to detect the point of incidence. So when when he passed the alpha particles which are emitted from the radioactive material through the gold foil, first let us see the observations, and we will make some conclusions based on those observations. So the observations are, most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil without any deviation. ये कैसे पता चला? Based on the sparks in this particular region. Okay, very few alpha particles got deviated. Very few alpha particles got deviated by angles less than 90. उससे भी कम, very few alpha particles got deviated by angles greater than 90 or they rebounded. Okay, ये जो particular ZNS screen है, it rotates around this particular gold foil. So rebound कैसे पता चलेगा? If that particular spark is present at this particular region, you can identify that that particular alpha particle got rebounded. ये जो particular ZNS screen है, this rotates around this particular gold foil. So ये जाने के बाद there will be because of the rotation you can identify a spark at this particular position. Okay, what are the observations? Most of the alpha particles pass through without any deviation. Very few alpha particles got deviated by angles less than 90. उससे भी कम alpha particles got deviated by angles greater than 90 or rebounded. Okay, so based on these observations we need to conclude और जो J.J. Thomson's का model है पहले वो गलत है, and we have to see the discovery of the nucleus. First, let us understand why these alpha particles are deflecting. What is the reason for that? पहले वो देखते हैं.
Positive charge at the center of the atom.
Okay.
अरे रुको जरा, सब्र करो.
Tell me the possible reasons for the deviation of the alpha particle.
Repulsive force deflection.
Repulsive forces. Okay, repulsive forces between a positive charge and the alpha particle. Okay. और कुछ?
There are particles present in the center.
There are particles present in the center. Okay. और कुछ? Okay, मैं बताता हूँ, आप सब लोग एक बार कॉन्सेंट्रेट करो. What is the charge of the alpha particle? It is 2 times the charge of proton, or else it is positively charged. Okay, suppose मान लेते हैं ये alpha particle है, which has charge 2 times charge of proton and which has mass 4 times mass of proton. So whenever a positively charged species comes close to another positively charged species, suppose a nucleus मान लेते हैं, okay, or some positively charged species. Whenever a positively charged species comes close to another positively charged species, if it is not colliding with it, क्या होगा? Whenever it is going close to it, it will be deviated. Whenever this is going close to another positively charged particle, it will be deviated. Okay, इनके अलावा और क्या हो सकता है? If this is colliding with it at some angle, तभी भी deviate हो सकता है. Okay, ऐसा कुछ सोचो. ये जो particular particle है, this has 4 times mass of proton. If you are having any other particle which is having mass greater than that, suppose ऐसा देखो, you are having a carom striker and you have having small coins. Whenever you are hitting the coins at some angles, if you are hitting the coins at some angles, there will be deviation of both striker as well as the coin, right? ऐसा नहीं होगा ये जो स्ट्राइकर है जाके वापस आ जाएगा. There will be deviation of both striker as well as the coin. Similarly ऐसा ही सोचो, helium का nucleus जो है it is having 4 times mass of the proton. If you are taking gold particle has mass number of 197 AMU. Okay, if you are striking this at some angle, if you are striking the nucleus at some angle, there will be deviation of that particular alpha particle by angle less than 90. If you are having a head-on collision, इसके ऊपर जाके लगा तो there will be rebound. The alpha particle will be rebounded. Okay, so the possible conditions for those particular rebound to happen is it has to have a head-on collision. वो जाके उसके आमने सामने लगना चाहिए. Then it will be rebounded. If it is colliding at some angle, it will be deviated. Is this clear? Or else ऐसा कुछ सोचो एक बार. If you are taking J.J. Thomson's model, the positive charge is uniformly distributed throughout the atom. If the positive charge is uniformly distributed throughout the atom, whenever an alpha particle, which is also positively charged, whenever an alpha particle comes close to this particular positive charge, what should happen? Because of repulsions, most of the alpha particles must be deviated by some angles. Okay, but ऐसा हुआ क्या? ऐसा हो रहा है क्या?
No, sir.
अगर ऐसा हुआ तो you need to have most of the observations at angles less than 90 or greater than 90. ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए था. But what is the observation? Most of the alpha particles are going through the gold foil without any deviation. इसका मतलब क्या होना चाहिए? The positive charge is not distributed like this. If the positive charge is distributed like this, most of the alpha particles must be deviating by angles less than 90 or some angles greater than 90. If this is not happening, I can conclude that ये जो positive charge है, the entire positive charge must be concentrated. The entire positive charge must be concentrated in a very small region. As a result, whenever the alpha particle is coming close to this nucleus or coming close to this positively charged site, then only there is deviation. If it is not going close to that particular positively charged site, there won't be any deviation. Okay, clear hai ye wala part? So from this, I am concluding that the positive charge is not distributed, but it is concentrated in a particular region. That region we will be calling that as nucleus. Dekhenge. But for now, I am saying that the positive charge must be concentrated at the center. So J.J. Thomson model जो भी है, अगर वैसा रहता तो वैसा नहीं होगा कभी भी. Based on the experimental observations, Rutherford जाके उसको challenge किया. अगर ऐसा रहता तो ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए, but we are having results something like this. इसका मतलब the positive charge must be concentrated in a region. दूसरा part, न्यूक्लियस का डिस्कवरी जब हुआ तब इनका न्यूट्रॉन्स का डिस्कवरी नहीं हुआ. ओके, एज ऑफ नाउ साइंटिस्ट डोंट नो दैट न्यूट्रॉन्स जैसे कुछ चीज रहेंगे, बट ऑलरेडी बेस्ड ऑन गोल्डस्टीन्स एक्सपेरिमेंट हमने ये कंक्लूड किया, inside an atom there should be some particles which are having same mass as that of proton, but they are not having any charge. Later that particular particle got discovered as neutron in nuclear transformation reaction performed by Chadwick. But nucleus का discovery जब हुआ है तब तक neutron ऐसा कुछ है करके उसका physical presence किसी ने देखा नहीं है. So but scientists know, back of the mind they know that inside an atom there is some neutral particle which is having some mass. Suppose neutrons भी ऐसा distributed है, न्यूट्रॉन चार्जलेस है ना, अभी के लिए जस्ट थॉट प्रोसेस है ये. सपोज न्यूट्रॉन्स भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है and you are having and you are incidenting an alpha particle onto it. As there is no charge, there won't be any interaction based on charge. न्यूट्रॉन के लिए कुछ चार्ज नहीं है ना, it is neutral. so there won't be any interaction based on charge. This is 4 times mass of proton, and these particular particles are having mass of neutron. So I can compare both of them as एक जो alpha particle है, I can treat that as a carom striker, okay, and I can treat a neutron as a carom coin, okay. Whenever there is an interaction or whenever there is collision between a striker and a coin, what will happen? If you are colliding at some angle, there will be deviation. Definitely there will be deviation between or the deviation of alpha particle as well as the neutron. होना चाहिए ना, ये जाके इसको कोलाइड कर रहे हैं तो इसका deviation होना ही चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
अगर
Yes,
वैसा
sir.
हुआ तो अगर वैसा हुआ तो फिर से क्या होना चाहिए, ये जाके इसके ऊपर कोलाइड किया, there should be deviation. If there is deviation,
Right.
again I can conclude that there should be deviations at more and more deviations at angles less than 90 or greater than 90. But ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है क्या? नहीं. So इससे मैं ये भी conclude कर सकता हूँ, the mass contributing units must also be concentrated in that particular small region. First of all, we have concluded that the positive charge is not uniformly distributed. If it is uniformly distributed, then the observation should be like this. Most of the alpha particles must be deviating by angles less than 90. As most of the alpha particles are passing through without any deviation, we are concluding that the entire positive charge must be concentrated in a small region. Next point क्या है? We know that as of now, अभी हमको पता है that neutrons are also present inside the system. Neutron's mass is almost equal to the mass of the proton. So if the alpha particle is having 4 times the mass of proton and the mass of neutron is equal to the mass of proton, whenever they are colliding, again there has to be some deviation. If there is deviation, most of the observations should be at angles less than 90. ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है. So based on this, हमारा दूसरा conclusion क्या है? All the mass contributing units must also be present in this particular small region. Okay, as of now I am concluding the charge contributing units and the mass contributing units must be present in a very small region. Is this clear? ठीक है. अभी ये जो electrons है, electrons are very small in size when compared to the proton and neutron, or the mass of electron and mass of proton. इन दोनों के बीच में अगर relation देखा तो हम already देखा हमने. What is the relation? Mass of proton is 1836 times mass of electron. Okay, which is very very huge difference. इसके लिए example मैं क्या ले सकता हूँ? Suppose I am taking alpha particle. अब ये जो alpha particle है, alpha particle has 4 times mass of proton, which is equals to 4 into 1836 times mass of electron. Okay, which is almost equal to 10,000 times or 9,000 मान लेते हैं, which is almost equal to 9,000 times mass of electron. So I'm considering alpha particle as an elephant, and I'm considering electron as a rat. Okay. Whenever there is collision, सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. Whenever there is collision between an elephant, okay, whatever. Whenever there is a collision between an elephant and a rat, will there be any deviation of the elephant?
No, sir.
No.
No,
sir.
right? Because the masses are not comparable. There is huge difference between the mass of the elephant and mass of the rat. Okay, so because of electrons, there won't be any effect on the direction of the alpha particle or on the path of the alpha particle. Moreover, these alpha particles are coming at very very high speeds. Whenever such alpha particles are colliding with the electron, what will happen? The electron will be kicked out of the system. ये जो particular gas atoms है, here they will be ionized. Electrons के वजह से there won't be any deviation. ये बात सभी लोग समझना. Inside an atom, जो भी deviations हो रहे, that is because of presence of protons or because of the presence of nucleus. because of presence of electrons, there won't be any deviation because the mass of the electron is very, very small when compared to the mass of the proton, or in this case when compared to the mass of the alpha particle. Okay, समझ में आ रहा है ये वाला बात सभी लोग? So whenever a proton collides with an electron, the electron will be kicked out of the system, but the path of that particular proton won't be changing. I hope this is clear. So in this particular experiment, there is no observation for the position of the electron. Electron कहाँ पे रहना चाहिए? Should it be present inside the nucleus? मतलब nucleus के अभी पॉजिटिव चार्ज इसके अंदर है, न्यूट्रॉन्स भी इसके अंदर है, इसके अंदर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स भी रख सकते थे हम. Okay, there is no observation for the position of electron. And why is there no observation for the position of electron? Because the mass of alpha particle and the mass of electron are not comparable. The mass of alpha particle is very huge. Whenever such alpha particle falls on an electron, okay, because of the collision, there won't be any deviation. The alpha particle will follow its own path. इधर जाके कोलाइड होने के बाद इधर डिविएट नहीं होगा, डायरेक्टली सीधा ही चला जाएगा. Okay, so in the experiment there are no observation for the position of the electrons, but we have observation for the positively charged species as well as the mass contributing units. I can definitely say all the mass contributing units and all the positive charge must be concentrated in a very small region. And why am I referring to that as very small region? एक बार वो भी समझ लेते हैं. Suppose if the region is huge, ऐसा है कुछ, ठीक है, इसके पास से जो भी पार्टिकल्स जाएगा that will be deviated by angles less than 90, but इसके ऊपर collision होने का chances अभी ज़्यादा है because of its huge size, and most of the particles must be deviated by angles greater than 90 or equal to 180. But ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है क्या? इधर देखो, very few particles got deviated by angles greater than 90 और उससे भी कम, 1 in million or 1 in trillion got deviated by angles greater than 90 or equal to 180 rebounded. So इससे मैं ये conclude कर सकता हूँ, the size of that particular positive charge and mass contributing units और जो भी occupied है, that particular size must be very small. If it is large, most of the alpha particles must be deviated by angles greater than 90. If not most, greater number of alpha particles must be deviated by angles greater than 90. उतना बड़ा नहीं है, the size is very small. This is nothing but the size of the nucleus, or this is the comparison between the size of the atom and the size of the nucleus. इतना छोटा रहेगा, because of that very few alpha particles are rebounding. I hope this is clear. Hello?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So based on the experiment and based on the observations, what is the experiment? He is passing some alpha particles through the gold foil. And why has he chosen gold foil? Because ये जो gold foil है, it can be made into very thin sheet, and he made it of the size of about 100 gold atoms. अगर thick sheet है तो क्या होगा? ये वाला एटम नहीं है तो आगे वाला एटम नहीं तो कोई ना कोई पीछे वाला एटम्स के साथ न्यूक्लियस के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर लेगा, न्यूक्लियस के साथ कोलिजन हो जाएगा. मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्टिकल्स विल बी डिविएटिंग बाय एंगल्स लेस देन 90 एंड ग्रेटर देन 90. इन दैट केस हमारा जो भी रिजल्ट है वो गलत हो जाएगा. We want to encounter only very few number of gold atoms. अगर बहुत ज्यादा है तो ये न्यूक्लियस नहीं है तो दूसरे न्यूक्लियस के साथ इंटरेक्ट हो जाएगा and there will be deviation. Okay, ठीक है. The observations are most of the particles are passed through without any deviation, and that particular observation, based on that particular observation, we are concluding that the positive charge is not uniformly distributed. If it is distributed throughout, like just like the bulb, most of the particles must be deviating. ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है. उसके बाद हमने मास कंट्रीब्यूटिंग यूनिट्स जो भी है, मास कंट्रीब्यूटिंग यूनिट्स जो भी है वो भी बीच में ही रहना पड़ेगा, because if they are also distributed there should be again deviations. एंड उसके बाद हमने ये कंक्लूड किया there are no observations or there won't be any observations for the position of electrons because the electron's mass is negligible when compared to the mass of the alpha particle. ऐसा कुछ सोचो. There is an arena, okay, ground है. In the ground there is some rat. कहीं पे तो rat है, वो पता नहीं हमें. And in order to know the position of the rat, what I am doing, I am passing or I am rolling an elephant. ऐसा roll कर रहा हूँ. And I am considering that whenever the elephant collides with the rat, there should be deviation of elephant. Then I can conclude that ये वाला particular position पे rat है. But होगा क्या? Whenever I am passing an elephant or rolling an elephant, whenever it is colliding with the rat, what will happen? ये जो rat है वो उड़ जाएगा, but this particular elephant will be passing straight. There won't be any deviation. Because of this, I can never say where is the position of the or where is the placement of the rat. ये कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. Similarly, ये जो particular experiment में भी, if I want to know the position of the electron, I can never say that कहाँ पे होगा. वो ऐसा भी कंसिडर कर सकता था, ये जो पर्टिकुलर इलेक्ट्रॉन से वो भी बीच में रहना पड़ेगा, ऐसा कुछ बोल सकता था वो, बट उसने ऐसा कुछ नहीं कहा. He referred his particular model to the planetary model. सोलर सिस्टम में क्या होता है? सन इज एट द सेंटर एंड रेस्ट ऑल अदर प्लैनेट्स आर रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड सन. Just like that, he considered all the positively charged species are concentrated at the center, and all the negatively charged, all the mass contributing species are also concentrated at the center, just like the sun. The negative charges are revolving around the nucleus, just like the planets are revolving around the sun. Hence, his model is also called as planetary model. मतलब क्या है? As there are no observations, I can say this, as there are no observations for the position of electrons, he stated electrons must revolve around the nucleus just like the planets are revolving around the sun. Hence, his model is also called as planetary model. Planetary model of atom. Okay, और न्यूक्लियर मॉडल. ये जो पर्टिकुलर जे थॉमसन एक्सपेरिमेंट है, इसका इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है? It led to the discovery of nucleus. Okay, there is something called nucleus inside an atom where you will be having all the positively charged and mass contributing units concentrated. Okay, is this clear, everyone? Any doubt? If you are having any doubts, you may ask me.
सर वो रेडियो एक्टिव मतलब क्या?
रेडियोएक्टिव मतलब उसका जो न्यूक्लियस है, it is unstable because of some reasons. We will be exploring those particular reasons in physics. What is the reason for the radioactivity of any given substance? Okay, its nucleus is unstable, it disintegrates on its own, and it will be emitting some particles out. In this case, the particle which it is emitting is an alpha particle. It will be emitting particles along with some radiations. ऐसा कुछ सुना होगा, gamma radiations, cosmic rays, ये सब. So ये जो radioactive material है, radioactive material is unstable. Its nucleus is unstable. The nucleus will disintegrate and it will convert into, or it will be emitting out alpha particles. So that radioactive material is the source of that particular alpha particle, जो experiment के लिए चाहिए. Any other doubts? So what is Rutherford's model of atom? the entire positive charge and mass contributing units are placed at the center in a very small region called nucleus, and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus just like the planets are revolving around the sun. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
अभी Rutherford's model क्या है? There is nucleus, and around the nucleus the electrons are revolving. But based on this particular point, उसने क्या कहा? Electrons must revolve around the nucleus just like the planets are revolving around the sun. Because of this particular statement, Rutherford's model got failed. और क्यों हुआ है? His particular model couldn't explain Maxwell's theory of electromagnetic radiation. इधर लिख रहा हूं मैं, couldn't explain Maxwell's theory of electromagnetic radiation, or simply Maxwell's EM wave theory. Electromagnetic is nothing but EM. Okay, he couldn't explain electromagnetic wave theory. First of all, let us try to understand what is Maxwell's statement. Maxwell's statement देख के and Rutherford क्यों explain नहीं कर पाया, let us try to understand that. I hope everyone is with me. If you are having any doubt, please ask me. मैं अभी ये बोल रहा हूँ, Rutherford's model जो भी है, which is nucleus at the center and the electrons revolving around the nucleus, his model got failed because of Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. He couldn't explain the statement of Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. So let us understand the statement of Maxwell's theory. इधर लिख रहा हूं मैं. According to EM wave theory, any heated object or an accelerating charged particle loses energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiation. Loses energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiation. इनके अलावा और एक स्टेटमेंट है, by continuous he meant that only the intensity of radiation is changed, but not the frequency or wavelength. एक बार फिर से पढ़ते हैं. What is Maxwell's EM wave theory? According to EM wave theory, any heated object or an accelerating charged particle loses energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiation. And continuous का मतलब क्या कहा उसने? The emitted electromagnetic radiation must be having only change in its intensity, but should not have any change in its wavelength or frequency. Okay. So first of all, let us try to understand. In order to understand Maxwell's theory, you need to understand what is meant by electromagnetic radiation. You need to understand the terms intensity, frequency, wavelength. ये सब समझना पड़ेगा. But first let us understand this. Rutherford जो भी है, उसका मॉडल कैसे इस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट की वजह से फेल हुआ है. ओके, ठीक है. Is electron a charged particle?
Yes.
Yes. It
Yes.
is revolving around the nucleus. अभी ये बताओ, अभी ये सोचो तुम लोग. If an electron is revolving around the nucleus at a specific distance from the nucleus, will the speed of it changes continuously? Change होता जाएगा क्या?
Yes.
It will be
Yes.
or it will be rotating at a constant speed.
No.
स्पीड
मतलब
चेंज
ऐसा
होगा.
मतलब ऐसा कुछ होगा क्या? ऐसा थोड़ा धीरे धीरे जाके सडनली से फास्ट करके थोड़ा फिर से धीरे जाके
नहीं.
फास्ट करके ऐसा कुछ
Velocity
होता
change होगा. Velocity.
वेलोसिटी.
ओके. माय गॉड, इसलिए मैं जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ बस उसका आंसर करो. आई एम आस्किंग इफ द स्पीड ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर इलेक्ट्रॉन इज चेंजिंग और नॉट.
No.
नो.
The speed
No.
won't be changing, right? It will be having some uniform
Nope.
speed. It will be going
Yes,
around
sir.
the nucleus at a uniform speed. Okay. But the velocity of it will be definitely changing. अभी तुम लोग को होगा velocity जो है it is a vector quantity and the speed जो है it is a scalar quantity. What is meant by a vector quantity? A vector quantity has both direction as well as magnitude. A vector quantity has both direction as well as magnitude. What is meant by a scalar quantity? One which has only magnitude.
Only magnitude.
Magnitude.
So in case of a scalar quantity, we will say that the quantity got changed if the magnitude of it is changing. But in case of vector quantity, अगर direction change हुआ तभी भी वो vector change हुआ या magnitude change हुआ तभी भी वो change होगा. Okay, so you need to concentrate both on direction as well as magnitude. So in this particular case, if an electron is revolving around the nucleus, the magnitude of it, the magnitude of that particular velocity is not changing, but उसका जो direction है at each and every point, the direction of it is continuously changed. Suppose यहाँ पे अगर electron है तो the direction of velocity will be in this particular direction. This is nothing but tangent. If you are drawing a tangent at that particular point, you can get the direction of the velocity. Suppose इस particular point पे electron है तो this will be the direction of velocity of electron. ये वाला direction, यहाँ पे ये direction, यहाँ पे ये direction. If you can observe, the direction of velocity of the electron is continuously changing, or else I can say there is change in velocity. Can I say that? What is change in velocity per unit time?
Acceleration.
Change in velocity per unit time is nothing but acceleration. So can I conclude? I'm concluding that this charged particle is an accelerating charged particle. It is not any other charged particle. It is an accelerating charged particle. According to Maxwell, any accelerating charged particle loses energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiation. मतलब क्या है? ये जो particular electron है, now this will be losing energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. हमने already कुछ points discuss किया है. What is the relation between stability and energy? Is it directly proportional or inversely proportional?
Inversely proportional.
Inversely proportional. More is the energy, less is the stability, or less is the amount of energy, more will be the stability. So if this particular electron, if it is losing energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation, is it attaining stability or attaining instability?
Attaining stability.
Attaining stability because its energy is decreased. Okay. Stability is particular case में what is the reason for stability? Because of the interaction between the nucleus and the electron. Nucleus is positively charged and the electron is negatively charged. The reason for stability is because of the attractive force between the nucleus and the electron. If the stability is increasing, can I say the attractive forces between the nucleus and the electron is increasing?
Yes, sir.
बोल सकता हूँ. So in order to increase the attractive force, what should happen to the distance?
Decrease.
Decrease होना चाहिए. सभी लोग ये वाला point concentrate किया. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? The electron being an accelerating charged particle, according to Maxwell, it has to lose energy continuously. If it is losing energy continuously, it is gaining stability continuously. And in this case, the stability is gained by increasing the attractive force with the nucleus. The attractive force with the nucleus can be increased by decreasing its distance with the nucleus. So क्या होगा, ये जो particular electron है, now it should rotate in a path which is having lesser radius. But यहाँ पे भी क्या होगा, it is even now an accelerating charged particle, so it will again lose energy. So वैसा lose करते 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 क्या होगा, eventually it has to fall inside the nucleus, or eventually it has to collide with that particular positively charged species, and the atom must be destroyed, which is not the case. Which is not the case. We know that an atom is stable. An atom existed. It is not destroyed. Okay. So we need to understand ये जो particular model है Rutherford का, इस मॉडल पे कुछ गलती हो सकता है, या इसके जो theory है, ये theory में भी कुछ गलत हो सकता है. It is not necessary that this particular theory is true entirely. This is true, but we need to understand if it is true entirely or not. It can be applied to an atom or not. I hope this particular point is clear. This is very, very important for understanding next theories. अभी Rutherford ने आके उसने क्या बताया? The nucleus is present at the center, whose size is very, very small, and he concluded that all positively charged and mass contributing units must be present in this particular small region. And as there are no observations for the position of electrons, उसने एक statement ये कहा, by comparing it with planetary model, he said that electrons must revolve around the nucleus just like the planets are revolving around the sun. But because of that particular statement, he was unable to explain Maxwell's theory. He was unable to explain the stability of the atom based on Maxwell's theory. And what is Maxwell's theory? Any accelerating charged particle loses energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiation. If it is doing that, an electron जो भी है, if it is revolving around the nucleus, it is an accelerating charged particle based on the change in velocity. Velocity change हो रहा है करके क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? Because the direction of it is continuously changing. So an electron, which is an accelerating charged particle, if it loses energy, it has to gain stability, and in this case, the stability is related to the attractive forces between the nucleus and the electron.
Sir.
That, yeah, sorry.
Sir,
बोलो.
stability means क्या meaning क्या है stability?
Stability मतलब meaning क्या है? I will give you some examples. Suppose if you are not attending any lecture, in our context, what is stability for a student, or stability for any individual who is of your age? What is stability? The stability comes with education, right? आप लोग के केस में, if you are having any positive interaction which will lead to some things, मतलब अभी stability मतलब क्यों बोल रहा हूँ ऐसा? एक इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो ऑलरेडी वो न्यूक्लियस के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, सो वो दूसरे चीज के साथ जाके इंटरेक्ट करने की कुछ जरूरत नहीं. इट इज स्टेबल. It won't be having interaction, or it won't be searching for an interaction. It is stable. जितना ज़्यादा interaction होगा उतना ज़्यादा stability रहेगा. If you are attending these particular lectures, if you are satisfied with it, you won't be searching for another set of classes. Okay? If you are more and more interested, उतना ही ज़्यादा stability होता जाएगा. If you are here, if you are interested in all those things, okay, सब कुछ सही चल रहा है. But if you are more and more interested, you will be putting extra efforts, and बस तुम लोग का stability बढ़ता जाएगा. Any positive interaction which will not lead to your interaction with others, okay, you will, I can call that as stability. अभी ये जो पर्टिकुलर इलेक्ट्रॉन है, इस केस में स्टेबिलिटी किस वजह से आ रहा है? बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स इंटरेक्शन. ये इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड है ना, नेगेटिवली चार्ज्ड है, तो अगर इफ इट इज प्रेजेंट अलोन, इट विल ऑलवेज ट्राई टू इंटरेक्ट विद समथिंग एल्स बिकॉज इट इज नॉट न्यूट्रल. In this case, it is interacting with this particular positive charge, and it is gaining some stability. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
ओके ओके ठीक है. So stability बढ़ने का मतलब क्या है? It has to interact more and more with this particular nucleus. So वो कैसे होगा? By decreasing its distance. अगर एनर्जी लूज किया, कम होगा, फिर से एनर्जी लूज किया और कम होगा. तो ऐसे कम होते 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 क्या होना चाहिए? वो न्यूक्लियस के साथ कोलाइड हो जाना चाहिए. ओके, और देयर शुड बी ओनली न्यूक्लियस. ऐसा कुछ कभी होगा ही नहीं. मतलब न्यूक्लियस होगा, न्यूक्लियस के अंदर ही इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा, उसके अंदर ही न्यूट्रॉन भी होगा. वैसा कुछ मॉडल एग्जिस्ट होना चाहिए. सो वैसा होता है या क्या होगा हमको देखना पड़ेगा. we will be seeing Rutherford गलत है या ये गलत है या दोनों भी गलत हो सकता है. We will be seeing all those things. These are the early attempts for understanding the atom. Okay, so in order to know Maxwell's theory, if it is applicable on an atom or not, first of all you need to understand what is meant by electromagnetic radiation, what is meant by its intensity, what is meant by its frequency, what is meant by its wavelength. If you understand all these terms, if you are having detailed understanding of this particular theory, then I can apply that on an atom and I can check if this particular theory is applicable or not. Okay, पहले देख लेते हैं. Let us understand what is meant by electromagnetic radiation. I hope यहाँ तक जो भी हमने किया है, the history of it is clear. We have started with atomic models. The first and foremost model is J.J. Thomson's model, which is watermelon model or plum pudding model, which is challenged by his own student Rutherford based on alpha-ray scattering experiment. Based on that particular experiment, he has given his own model. ये जो particular model है उसको discard करके, he has given his own model, which is nucleus at the center and the electrons are revolving around it, just like planets. But वो जो particular model है, that particular model unable to explain the stability of the atom. Okay, he couldn't explain the stability of the atom based on electromagnetic wave theory. So ये फेल होने की वजह से आगे मॉडल की एक जरूरत है. So वो आगे मॉडल की जरूरत जो भी है, we need to understand ये क्या क्यों फेल हुआ है, पहले वो देखते हैं. Can I continue? Are there any doubts?
Yes, sir.
If you are having any doubts, you can put them in your chat as well. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. ठीक है. Let us understand what is meant by an electromagnetic radiation. बहुत important है. अब से जो भी चैप्टर रहेगा, very important and interesting, hopefully. Electromagnetic radiation. Or simply an electromagnetic wave. आप लोग अपने 10th क्लास में waves के बारे में पढ़ा होगा. There are two different types of waves. One is transverse wave and the other is longitudinal wave.
Longitudinal.
Okay, so एक जो electromagnetic wave है, this is nothing but a transverse wave. Can anyone tell me what is a transverse wave?
It moves upwards and downwards from its mean position.
It moves upwards and downwards from its mean position. Any other specific definition? In better words, anyone? Definition of transverse wave. Or tell me how can that be formed, a transverse wave? Okay, मैं बताता हूँ, सुनो. Basically, a wave is nothing but a disturbance created in a medium. That particular disturbance will be propagated and it will lead to the formation of a wave. So, एक बार, everyone observe this. I am having a particle, okay? I am having some particle and it is vibrating to and fro. ऊपर नीचे कर रहा है. Okay, it is vibrating to and fro. Because of motion of this particular particle, can I say the particle which is present just beside it will be influenced? इसके मोशन के वजह से इसके कांटेक्ट में जो भी पार्टिकल रहेगा, it will also be influenced. ये जो particular particle है, it is moving from this particular position to this particular extreme. उसके बाद वापस आ रहा है, उसके बाद दूसरा एक्सट्रीम पे जा रहा है, उसके बाद फिर से वापस आ रहा है. ओके, whenever this particular particle is at its extreme, उसके बाजू वाला पार्टिकल कहाँ पे रहेगा? Can I say it will be present just beside it? Suppose ये वाला पार्टिकल यहाँ पे है, उसके बाजू वाला पार्टिकल यहाँ पे रहेगा, but not at the same position, because this particle is starting because of the disturbance of this particular particle. दोनों साथ में स्टार्ट नहीं हो रहे. अगर दोनों साथ में स्टार्ट हो रहा होगा तो दोनों साथ में ऊपर जाएंगे, दोनों साथ में नीचे आएंगे. Because of the disturbance of this particular particle is setting into motion. So I can definitely say if this particle is at its maximum position, उसके बाजू वाला particle थोड़ा नीचे रहेगा. And based on that particular logic, उसके बाजू वाला पार्टिकल और थोड़ा नीचे. सो ऐसा वैसा नीचे 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 क्या होगा? देयर विल बी formation of something like this, and this is termed as a wave. And in this particular case, I am calling this as transverse wave. देखो, everyone please observe what is exactly happening here. There is a motion of the particle to and fro about its mean position. ये जो particular particle, it is vibrating to and fro about its mean position. Because of its own vibration, the particle which is connected to it, it will also start to vibrate. As both of them are not vibrating at the same instant, I cannot say if this is at its maximum position, इसके बाजू वाला पार्टिकल भी मैक्सिमम पोजीशन पे ही रहेगा. इट विल बी एट अ पोजीशन व्हिच इज सिमिलर टू दैट, बट थोड़ा सा नीचे रहेगा, थोड़ा सा नीचे. सिमिलरली उसके बाजू वाला पार्टिकल और नीचे और नीचे. सो यू विल बी हैविंग समथिंग लाइक दिस, पार्टिकल्स मूविंग टू एंड फ्रो, but all of them are not starting at the same time and not coming back at the same time. All these are happening at different time instants. Okay, ठीक है. So this particular wave is called as transverse wave, where the particles of the medium are vibrating to and fro about the mean position, or the particles of the medium are vibrating perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. और जो wave है, it is going in this forward direction, but the particles of medium are vibrating perpendicular to it. Okay, such a wave is called as transverse wave. ये वाला समझ में आया सभी लोग को? If I am taking a snapshot of these particles, different particles, different positions पे रहेंगे at the same instant, hence you can see something like this. So wave जैसे कुछ दिखेगा. Okay, okay. So in any transverse wave, you can define few things, which are, this is called as crest, and this is called as trough, and the maximum displacement of the particle from the mean position is called as amplitude. Okay, so कोई भी एक transverse wave में you can define crests, troughs and amplitude. What is crest? The peaks of the wave are considered as crests, and वो जो depressions है, those are considered as troughs. Okay, ठीक है. We also define something called wavelength, frequency and intensity. Intensity जो function है और intensity जो quantity है, it is directly proportional to amplitude square. Intensity is directly proportional to amplitude square. What is amplitude? It is the maximum displacement of the particle from its mean position. उसका स्क्वायर करने से जो भी वैल्यू आएगा यू कैन थिंक ऑफ इट एज इंटेंसिटी. मतलब एम्पलीट्यूड जितना ज्यादा रहेगा वेव का इंटेंसिटी उतना ही ज्यादा होगा. एम्पलीट्यूड कम है तो उसका इंटेंसिटी कम होगा. For now understand the intensity as some quantity which is directly proportional to amplitude square. Okay, what is wavelength? Wavelength, we define wavelength as the distance between any two consecutive crests or any two consecutive troughs. ये जो particular distance है, this distance is
Two
treated
similar
as
waves.
okay one wavelength, or else for that particular point I can say the distance between any two consecutive points or any two consecutive equivalent points. What is meant by equivalent point? Suppose if I am taking a point here, ये वाला point, इसका equivalent point ढूंढना है हमको. Suppose if I am taking this particular point, let us see if these two are equivalent points or not. Equivalent points का मतलब they should be present at the same horizontal level. अबे इधर देख रहे तो both of them are present at the same horizontal level. But in the next time instant, ये जो particular particle है, it is moving in the upward direction, and this particular particle is going in the downward direction. So we should not say these two are equivalent. If you are taking this particular particle which is at same horizontal level, in the next instant this is also moving in the upward direction. So I can say the distance between these two, ये जो particular distance रहेगा, this can be again termed as lambda, which is nothing but wavelength. This is the symbol for wavelength. This is called as lambda. Lambda is nothing but wavelength. What is meant by wavelength? Wavelength is nothing but the distance between any two consecutive crests or any two consecutive troughs, or it is the distance between any two consecutive equivalent points. Okay. What will be the value of this? Tell me. ये वाला particular point है, एक particular point है. What is the distance between these two?
Lambda by 2.
Lambda by 2. Can I say that? ये दो particular distance है, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक. This is nothing but lambda, because these two are again consecutive points. This is lambda. ये उसका आधा है, hence this is lambda upon 2. Okay. So you can divide the waves in some parts and lambda by 4, lambda by 2. ऐसा कुछ questions आएगा. They will be plotting or they will be marking some distance and they will ask you what is the distance between those 2 points. You need to have an idea on wavelength. The distance between any two consecutive troughs or equivalent points is nothing but wavelength. So उसके proportion में कितना है ये वाला particular part देखो. इस particular case में वो आधा है and it is lambda by 2. You can take 1/4 part of it. This particular part, यहाँ से यहाँ तक, this particular amount is nothing but lambda upon 4, क्योंकि वो जो lambda by 2 है उसका भी आधा है वो. So that is lambda upon 4. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
और
Yes,
भी
sir.
okay, okay. और भी कुछ definitions पढ़ना है हमको, but class का lecture time खत्म हो गया. We will be continuing from this particular section in next lecture.